UFC 316, Merab vs O'Malley 2, completely unnecessary rematch, but after seeing how it went down, I can say it was super necessary in terms of how satisfying it was. But I'm just going to go over the main card from the opener to the main event. Opening with Kevin Holland defeating Vicente Luque. Holland looked really good here, I thought. It was kind of just one-sided, really, piecing him up on the feet, talking trash while he does it, and then getting another decent submission win in round two. So, yeah, and I was like, to be fair, Holland's gotten such a lot of shit over recent time, and I definitely have partaken in that because he has been really annoying, and I think let his ego get the best of him at times. But he still hasn't lost to like the worst fighters ever. Like usually they are contenders, um, and he he does manage to bounce back afterwards, and I think he's managed to do that since his fight against the Ritter because that was pretty embarrassing, and the whole drama surrounding the way he was acting with the 45-70 shit. Everyone knows, everyone was hating on it, rightfully so, but now Kevin Holland is back in my good graces. He calls out Colby Covington, which I think that is a good matchup for him. I think that will have a lot of hype behind it with the trash talk back and forth. Even though Colby's like pretty washed now, I think that's just a good matchup for Holland to have, and one that I think can get everyone probably back on his side. And I think it is. I don't know. Like I was gonna say, it is pretty easily winnable for him, but we've seen the holes in his grappling in the past in terms of the wrestling, but he's shown really good finishing with his jiu-jitsu and submissions on the ground. So, and I think on the feet he'll dust them up just like Joaquin Buckley did. So yeah, a good matchup there. I hope that happens. But is Colby Covington even fighting at this point? Nobody fucking knows. All he does is ads and Trump dick sucking online. So yeah, he used to be one of my favorite fighters, but just another disappointment from a UFC fighter that I love. Speaking of disappointments, Mario Batista and Patchy Mix. Emphasis on patchy mix, bro, because this guy, man, I was hyped for him to come into the UFC. Bellator champion, 20, was it 20 and 1, 21 and 1? Sorry, I don't have the record right in front of me, but I always get excited seeing someone from another promotion coming over to see how well they can do, see if their resume stacks up and they can perform the way they should. Um, from being a champion in another promotion, but you know, Apache just got completely checked here, and by Mario Batista of all people. Like, I'm pretty sure this was a layup matchup. Mario, probably the most hated fighter in the UFC after his just awful fight against Aldo, rightfully so, getting just tremendous amounts of hate. But I will say, as much as I wanted to see him just get finished, flatlined, and just murdered in the cage, he went out here and he just threw down on the feet for 3 rounds against Patchy and paced him the fuck up. So, I mean, there wasn't like any big knockdowns or knockouts or anything, but I don't really think he has that type of power. And I just think, what more can you ask from a fighter? He got so much hate with his last performance where all he was doing was clinching against the fence. And now he makes it a completely stand-up fight and paces the fuck out of Patchy Mix and wins 30-27 in my opinion. It was all completely one-sided. Patchy couldn't move his head at all. Like, Mario was just throwing the right hand, right hook to the body over and over again, just connecting almost every time, and Patchy looked like he never fought before, really. I don't know if it was jitters coming into the UFC or if he really just isn't that good, but he looks terrible here, and like, after we've just seen Pitbull come over and look shit too, it really just does kind of prove that the UFC is well, we know, like, they don't need to prove anything. It's a premier promotion, and if you're fighting anywhere else, you're just, you're never going to be at the top of the game. So, good win by Mario here. I don't really care what he does, to be honest, because I still deep down am frustrated. But like, I did think this was actually a pretty entertaining fight to watch, despite him being booed. But I think that was inevitable. Um, And then we go into the next fight of Pfeiffer and Gastelum. Like, I don't know how people weren't booing this out the fucking building. Oh, like, I don't care about either of these guys really. I thought Gastelum was fun back in the day, like 2019, 2018 when he was in title contention. His fight with Izzy, I think, is still probably the greatest of all time, maybe, in my opinion. It's definitely up there for me. But that was kind of the peak, really, and since then he's pretty much just dropped off, and I just don't care. I don't see him going anywhere, and he just loses again. Like from the get go, he got cracked with a big right hand from Pfeiffer and got dropped pretty quickly. And ended up getting dropped multiple times in the fight. And Pfeiffer, like, it's not like Pfeiffer was doing anything crazy, really. Like, all he was doing was throwing the right hand, but it was landing, and he has enough power to keep dropping Gastelum. So, yeah. Shit fight, really. Pfeiffer wins, didn't care, was boring, and yeah, just, it is what it is. But the co-main event, like, this card was so satisfying from this point on, because Juliana Pena, my God, I cannot stand that woman and her fucking, just, the sound of her voice is the most annoying thing I've probably ever heard, and her trash talk, like, sometimes can be pretty savage and kind of funny, but, like, I don't know, I just hate her as a fighter and really women's fighting in a whole mostly. But yeah, Payne, she's so fraudulent as a fighter. Like she's really done she's got a fluke win against Nunes and a robbery against Pennington to become a two-time champion. And her title defenses I think have proved that she just was not deserving of those accolades at all. And yeah, she got shown again here. Kayla Harrison went in there, just ragdolled her and submitted her, just pretty much exactly what I expected to happen. And we're going to get Nunes coming out of retirement to face Harrison. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope Nunes comes back and just completely knocks Harrison the fuck out. And then probably just retires again and they cut the Bantamweight division because you look at the rankings of that division and seeing Raquel Pennington number one ranked with a 16-10 record, like, come on, that division is meant for the furnace. I think it's always so boring fights and I can never get excited about anything there. But Harrison wins, and beats Payner, who we'll probably never hear from again. So that was great. I loved seeing that. Main event time. This is what I really have the most to talk about because, oh, the dross. I'm probably gonna have to just go on a bit of a rant about O'Malley's career for context, in my opinion, before I go into this because I just think O'Malley's career is also very fraudulent because I've been following it pretty much since he came from the Contender Series, really. Um, and I just think he's just had a career of getting highlights over cans. And I think it really proves it when you watch his hype package for the title fight for his defense when, yeah, he's got some pretty sick knockouts, but it's over the likes of like Eddie Wineland, Thomas Almeida, guys completely past their primes who were like never the greatest to begin with. And then Chris Mutino, paint shop worker, Piver, a flyweight moving up. Like none of these guys were really that good. But like I guess okay at the time O'Malley, like he's pretty new. I mean, with the hype he had behind him, you think they would be trying to get him facing contenders as quick as possible to get to that title shot. But nah, he really had the easiest run of it because from there, no contest over Pedro Munoz. Okay, so doesn't do anything. And then the biggest robbery ever against Peter Yan. I know people try and say that this wasn't a robbery, but watching it live, I thought this was just an insane robbery. And O'Malley did too, at the time at least. Like, look at his expression in the cage. I thought that was a clear win for Yan and really just fucking annoys me because you see the amount of shit people like Jan and Sandhagen have to put in to get to a title shot, and then O'Malley, he just gets one over a robbery and then a bunch of KOs against complete cans who he shouldn't have been fighting. Like, there's so many good contenders who he has yet to fight, and like, I don't blame O'Malley entirely. Like, I don't hate O'Malley. I just hate like kind of everything around him, like the people he surrounds himself with, and just the UFC's promotion of him, which I don't think he's that deserving of, and then he got another just instant rematch after getting dog walked by Merab the first time, and like, or even before that, he had a bullshit title defense against Cheeto. Like, fair enough, defended that title and just completely smoked him, but that shouldn't have been the contender he was fighting. It's just, oh, I could go on, but it's just, it's my opinion of O'Malley anyway. So when it was all this discussion about, oh, he wasn't training that well last time, there were so many distractions with his hair and his weed and his, I don't know, pumping out his wife to be fucked by his mates. I wasn't buying any of it. I thought Merab was clearly a better fighter. He's proved it against the higher competition, and I thought he won at least 4-1 against O'Malley last time. Yeah, completely dominant. I thought even in that first fight, Merab was doing well on the feet as well as mixing in the grappling, which is obviously most dominant in. Um, and so yeah, this whole lead up to this fight with this bullshit about O'Malley's training and how he's going to improve this time, as if Merab isn't also improving from fight to fight. Like, I think he's shown that. A lot of people like to give Merab so much shit, but I've been very entertained by his title reign so far. And he was another guy kind of similar to Mauro Batista who I was fucking hating and wanted to see him get knocked the fuck out at one point, because his fights against Aldo and Jan, fucking nightmare fuel, actually melted my brain and like was just some of the most frustrating shit to ever watch. I wanted him to get smoked after that and I hated him. But then his fight against Cejudo just made me, I was a fan from then, really, because um, he just went in there and just completely out grappled an Olympic gold medalist, lifting him up over his head, just slamming him on the ground, beating the shit out of him with ground and pound, and on the feet while showboating at the same time. Just a very entertaining fight and performance, like the type of grappling I love to see. Um, and if you go back and watch that as well, I think from then is really when a lot of the crowd started to get on Merab's side, because they were loud for that performance, especially in that third round where he's just tossing Cejudo around in front of Zuckerberg. That was great to see, and then I think from there Merab's personality really began to shine a lot more. Uh, People became more familiar with him, and yeah, I just think his title reign has been really fun so far. He's been active. His fight against Omar I thought was my fight of the year. Again, and that is against the best guy in the division at the time, unlike what O'Malley was doing. It's the two top guys just throwing down. Merab's able to overcome the early kind of adversary in the first rounds with Omar, who was he started that fight really good, but Merab, the cardio, he's a machine, and just the grappling and everything took over. I just feel like I have to give my context for this because I haven't given predictions or anything, or like haven't really posted anything about this leading up. So this is just my mindset going. Let's just get to the main event, okay? I've fucking rambled on. I've fucking rambled. No one probably cares about this shit, but this was this was great, and it just justified everything I've thought about it going into it. Where O'Malley, to be fair to him, he was starting the fight pretty decently. He was landing on the feet well, I thought, in round one and parts of round two, but it was the grappling and just the forward pressure and pace of Merab, as well as he was having good boxing combos on the feet too. I thought like he was actually landing on O'Malley while he was backing him up against the cage, and then he just wastes no time trying to shoot for takedowns relentlessly. He's gotten really good on the feet too. So when people are saying he's a boring fighter, like I feel like I'm watching a completely different fight because he's pacing people up, ragdolling them, showboating, really everything you want to see in a champion. And people will still shit on him. And then, like, people talking about O'Malley improving. Merab clearly is as well, even just with the fact he's finishing people now. That's a big complaint people have had against Merab, that he doesn't have that many finishes, if any. Like, I can't really remember off the top of my head, to be fair, apart from probably Marlon, I guess. But yeah, like, he's gone in there and had an even better performance than the first fight, finishing O'Malley in the third round with a neck crank, and just, I think, cementing himself as the bantamweight go. I really think it's undeniable. People were talking about Aljamain, obviously. Cruz was the one for the longest time up there, but I just think Merab's resume, the performance he's had, his fights have been really exciting. I think he just is an entertaining personality in and out of the cage too. I really think it's undeniable, and I'm looking forward to him fighting against Corey Sandhagen as well. I think that will be a banger of a fight. I think Merab probably gets that done pretty easily just because I thought Sandhagen really was that guy for the longest time, and he has had some great fights and wins, but man, his fighting against Umar surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect that to happen at all. So I just think Merab is just on a whole nother level right now. He's become so well rounded, and his grappling and pace is just too much for anyone to deal with, it seems. And he's really just becoming one of my favorite fighters. And I don't understand all this hate. Like, I've seen people say that Merab being champion's terrible for the division compared to O'Malley, and it's like, bro, if you go and just watch Merab's fights, listen to the crowd in them, like his fight against Umar, his fight against Cejudo, the crowd is so fucking loud, like probably way louder than any time I've ever heard a fucking O'Malley pop ever, really. Like, people just expected to cheer for O'Malley because he's the guy the UFC is pushing. He's the American. He's recognizable and he has a big following. But I just don't think what he does in the cage backs it up so much. I think like his career is nowhere near as good as people try to make it out to be. And I'm not saying it can't be. Like, I'm not saying O'Malley can't get some good wins over good contenders. I think he can. I just think he hasn't done it yet. And he's already had two title shots. Like, I think he should have had to go, you know, through the fire to get there. And I think now he probably will. Or maybe they'll literally just give him another title shot after one more win. Who the fuck knows? It's hard to tell with the UFC these days and their booking. Oh, I can't follow it. But yeah, like, this was just so fucking satisfying. I've just been backing Merab for a while now and just been so sick of the shit and excuses I've been hearing from O'Malley and just all his fans who I think are just complete casuals when it comes to analysing UFC, because some of the takes I see regarding him are just, I don't know, it's full of shit. Or maybe I'm just not seeing what they're seeing, but Merab was the one who went in there and choked them out. So, Bantamweight GOAT. Really entertaining main card, I thought, apart from just that fucking Pfeiffer and Gaslam fight. But the main two, the co-main and the main event, were really entertaining. I had a great time watching those. And yeah, that was UFC 316. That is my little review of it. I'll be trying to come up with these more, just, probably after every pay-per-view. Maybe I'll start doing predictions and shit too. Not too sure yet, but yeah, that is my 2 cents. You can call me a casual you want, for my opinion, but I'll call you that right back because that's how it goes in the MMA world. So yeah, like and subscribe. Comment if you agree or disagree. If you think I'm completely wrong, I would love to know and debate about it in the comments. So yeah, Merab the Machine, my guy.